So, David, I hear this new show coming up, the Fortean Slip.
You know, I don't know where these douchebags are coming from.
Steve Alcorn's a fine investigator. What he's doing with this Chris dude, I have no idea.
Christopher York is fucked up. The dude is seriously fucked up.
Put that on the show.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
You harassed me to watch this piece of shit.
And ultimately a piece of shit it is.
And fucking listen!
I was going to make a lemming noise.
I was a fucking lemming.
I don't know. How do you explain those kind of things?
Aliens are actually time travelers from the future.
So don't worry, in the future, we're still ignorant bastards.
This show is going to be fucked up.
I'd like to tell you all this show is going to be good. But let's face facts. Hello! And welcome to the Fortean Slip. I am your unprofessional, amateur, dickhead host. With me, as always, a man broadcasting from a wind tunnel, Steve Alcorn.
Can't be that bad. Jeez.
It just sounds like you got the going on.
I'll close the damn window.
And fresh back from his stint at the clinic, we hope we don't catch tuberculosis from him, Mr. Matt Knapp from bigfootcrossroads.blogspot.com. Or didn't you register the domain name on that now?
With the assistance of our good friend Steve Alcorn, it's now just bigfootcrossroads.com.
Bigfoot Crossroads.
Easy to remember.
That is pretty fucking easy to remember.
I'm actually broadcasting from a balcony right now at a TB clinic.
If mucus can translate over the internet, we're all fucked.
Yes. I've been possessed. I'm spitting up ectoplasm.
Who are you gonna call?
I don't know.
Me either. It's episode 7, ladies and gentlemen. The Witch Doctor Ate My Sour Patch Yeti-Bears episode.
Hate when that happens.
I do hate it when that happens. Those witch doctors down in Haiti.
I'm not a big fan of the Sour Patch Yeti-Bears, but I do like the gummy Yeti-Bears.
What about the Swedish Yeti-Bears?
The Swedish Yeti-Bears are good.
They only come in red. No multi.
I like the abominable. I can't even talk tonight. The abominable polar Yetis.
Are those like snow caps?
I think they are.
What makes them abominable?
I don't know. I can't even barely say that.
The little white candy coating.
Exactly.
Yeah, we for this episode we took a look at the movie directed by Wes Craven, starring the great Bill Pullman in his youth, The Serpent and the Rainbow. What a piece of shit that movie is in retrospect. Like, when I brought this movie up for us to watch, I was like, yeah, this is a great idea. You know, hey, zombies, voodoo. What a great idea. We'll watch this movie that I thought was amazing at one point in time. And then I rewatched it. And, you know, it's not a horrible movie, but
it's pretty bad.
It's bad.
It's pretty bad. I mean, it's not. going to get some flack for this one. It's not like Legend of Boggy Creek bad.
Right. No, you're absolutely right.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's bad. The acting leaves a little bit to be desired. The voiceover work of Bill Pullman while he's, talking about his adventures, it couldn't be more out of place in the movie. And what really sucks is the movie is actually about a very interesting subject. This drug that they went down to Haiti to try to find. I believe it was in the 70s. And what did they market it as? Zombinol?
Yeah.
They wanted to market it as Zombinol.
Zombinol. Yes. Take Zombinol. Let your worries and cares go away
Who would go for that?
as you sit in a coma for 12 hours.
Take this drug. Take this drug that mimics death.
Yeah, we're like people really concerned if like their insurance covered it.
Yeah. I don't know if my HMO is gonna fucking pick this one up.
They were going.
That's the thing to help you quit smoking, right?
Yeah.
They were going to market it as an anesthetic. They were going to market it as an anesthetic, but yet you could feel everything that was going on.
You completely experience everything. You just can't move.
And this actually cases that happening under, the general anesthetic that we use today. Anyway, like there are a certain percentage of people that will have that phenomenon where they'll be awake and feel everything the entire time.
By the way, Chris, before we go too far into this, I want to thank you for making me watch a movie that had my two biggest fears in it. Number one, being buried alive, and number two, being awake during, surgery and feeling everything that was going on. Thank you.
I told you the next movie we're going to watch is the movie Buried with Ryan Reynolds.
Asshole.
It also had my greatest fear, which is being nailed to a chair by my scrotum.
Yeah. Who wants that? There are some...
And it's crazy because if you haven't seen the movie and you hear us mentioning these things, you're thinking, oh, that sounds crazy. I bet that's a good movie. It's not.
No, it's not.
Don't let it fool.
It's not a good movie at all.
I don't care. This movie was supposed to be loosely based on real life, and I don't care whether that guy was really nailed to a chair by his scrotum. Do not put that in the movie. That was too painful to watch. I'm sorry.
Well, which part would be worse, though? The actual nailing to the chair or removing the nail?
Ooh.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think, the prying it out and everything, that would be pretty bad.
Well, I personally have had a friggin', and this isn't anywhere near to having a fucking nail put through your scrotum, but I did have a chest tube put in when I was 19, because I had a spontaneous collapsed lung when I was 19 years old. And I can tell you from that experience that it was much worse having that tube be pulled out than it was going in. However, the experience of it going in was mentally worse than the experience of it coming out.
No, see, I too had chest tubes at one point in time, but I was out for the part where they got put in.
Yeah, see,
I was completely wide awake
when they took them out.
When they took them out.
Yeah, that's...
And like whenever the doctor walked in and said, "Are you ready to get these chest tubes out?" I didn't know that was going to be my final okay.
Yeah, when my surgeon came in, he goes, "Yeah, we're going to take this out. We're going to do a test run. I'm going to go on 3." And he goes 1, 2, and he ripped the fucking thing out on the test run.
Yeah. Well, it worked.
Yeah, it was gone.
So what happens if the test run fails exactly?
Yeah, you fucking stay in the hospital.
Yeah. Not a pleasurable experience, but nail through the scrotum, probably a bad deal as well.
Yeah, nail through the scrotum is always bad.
And what about his, just Pullman's blind luck on this one? The movie starts out and he's, already out in the middle of the jungle somewhere, getting jacked with by like witch doctors and stuff.
Right, and he has this vision with a leopard and
right, and then he like goes home and he's there for like 30 minutes before he gets sent right back into it.
Right back to fucking Haiti to search for zombinol.
Because we're gonna corner the zombinol market.
But you know, a lot of that stuff did happen though. You know, them going down to Haiti to look for that drug. The guy who was buried alive. They were actually burying people alive down there. And then using the quote-unquote ability to raise the dead as a form of psychological power over the people. So the concept of the movie, the idea of, you know, what it was about was a good idea, but it just did not translate well the way they did it. Although, you know, when I was younger, it translated real well. It scared the fuck out of me. You know, now I just look at it and go, Dr. Allen!
Yeah.
Dr. Allen, I want to hear you scream.
I also liked the little hodgepodge canisters of people's souls.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
That were charmed.
I kind of like that.
They had little trinkets and doodads from the people they represented.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of cool. My great-grandmother did the same thing, except she kept, like, dried black-eyed peas in them and gave them away for Christmas presents.
And trapped all your relatives' souls in there.
Yes.
Well, one year my grandmother gave me, I'm not joking, my grandmother thought it would be great to give me some of my grandfather's stuff. Now, his soul wasn't trapped in there, but...
you wished it was.
She gave me... No.
You
She
sick
gave me
fuck.
some of... She gave me some of his used deodorant from... after he passed away. So there was some, you know, like, armpit hair stuck in there, but no soul.
Can I just say, the fucking... Last week, Steve tells us a fucking plastic frog grew legs. And he wasn't on any drugs. And this week, it's your grandmother
God rest her soul.
gave you used deodorant?
I'm not joking. That really
What
happened.
the fuck is wrong with you people?
For
this
Christmas.
was like a keepsake or a Christmas gift?
It was a Christmas gift.
Shut the fuck up. Like, I thought you meant, like, your grandfather had passed away. Here's some of his belongings. And within those belongings was the deodorant he used.
Have some Old Spice.
No, it was a stick deodorant, but I don't remember the brand.
Catch 'em.
No, it was, you know, it was a keepsake, but it was also a Christmas gift. It was wrapped real nicely.
Wrapped.
And yes.
She wrapped it.
Well, no, my mother wrapped it because my grandmother never wrapped anything.
And your mother didn't, like, hey,
oh yeah, no,
isn't
she.
that a great idea?
No, she kept her mouth shut. She was a good daughter. So,
Wow.
God rest her, my grandma's soul.
Yeah, I guess.
But there was no soul in it, just armpit hair.
Which you could have taken and made a voodoo doll, or maybe a jar with your grandfather's soul in it.
I have the facts to back that up, too. I still have the deodorant somewhere.
Oh, I thought you meant that somebody sent you a fax.
Oh, no. Different kind of facts. Did I just throw the whole
You
show
just fucking
off?
threw the whole fucking thing
Steve.
off kilter with a fucking story.
All I know is times around your house must be very entertaining.
Oh my God, you don't know the half of it. Wait till we do our Christmas episode and I get to talk about all the other Christmas gifts I've gotten. That'll be great.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Okay, go ahead.
Fuck me. Anyway. Yeah, poor Dr. Allen. Back to his adventures in Haiti. The movie was, like we said, is loosely based on the truth. about this drug that they wanted to market as Zombinol, which basically makes a person appear dead. And it's mostly made from the pufferfish venom, right, Steve?
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah. I think they put some piss in it and other stuff just for fun. But
I think there was some toad venom in there too, according to Wikipedia.
Right, but the biggest active ingredient is the pufferfish venom, right?
Right.
Yeah. So poor Dr. Allen goes down there, and then he has this amazing voodoo zombie experience. He gets buried, and
some amazing Doctor on Doctor Voodoo sex.
Yes, Doctor that because
when
you just meet somebody, you always want to have sex with them in like a cave.
Yeah. During some like voodoo ritual.
Right, because that's the way I go about it. I mean,
it's got to be comfy.
Yeah, I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to just go back to the hotel and make that shit happen there. But
Dr. Allen.
Yes, Dr. Allen.
And like on their pilgrimage there, when he had like the nightmare about the snake coming out and biting his face or whatever.
Right, out of the dead woman's face, yeah.
Yeah. Did you notice that they're just like all sleeping on the forest floor?
Yeah.
Like they're just like laying down on the ground wherever they're at. Like that's comfortable or something.
Dude,
and then like the next day he's like having sex in a cave.
It was like Avatar.
And where did they get like the 2,000 trillion billion freaking little white candles to stick everywhere? Like they were just like stuck in the crevices of trees and everything. That's got to be a fire hazard.
That came from the movie budget, man.
Well, they sell those at the dollar store here. You know, the little tea lights.
They're in Haiti.
Yeah.
They got a Dollar General in Haiti.
Not back then. They didn't.
Where they sell like possessed frog sculptures and use deodorant. Fucking pufferfish venom. And the one redneck black guy in the entire town, and he's like the main witch doctor. Like, I thought that was interesting.
I just still want to know if that fucking frog put on a top hat and fucking sang for you guys.
We can't get over the frog, Steve.
It wasn't that great of a story. It was just an inanimate
really?
It
a fucking Haiti frog comes to life and hops across the living room floor with multiple witnesses. Not that great of a story.
Yeah, no, we'll just push that one aside.
It was just an everyday event around here. Back in those days.
And then, and then Steve's like, but I saw a 5-car pileup. Now that was a story, you know.
Yeah.
But the fucking frog coming to life and jumping across the room, no. That's nothing.
Was there a key inside of him whenever he was hopping around?
No, there was no key. It was, see, my sister collected frogs, right? So it was just part of the collection. Anything frog-like she liked, so. Yeah, no key.
Kermit the Frog here.
Yeah, she had a Kermit, too.
Perhaps it was just on Zombinol.
Yeah, it just came back to life.
Yeah.
Did you mark its paw to make sure, or whatever, webbed foot to make sure that it was going to be the same frog when it woke back up?
Well, speaking of that was my favorite part of the movie where he marked the goat's foot.
Oh, when he goes to the guy who makes the powder, and he says
right.
I'll show you, and he gives the goat the friggin' powder, and then he says, well, I'll come back and pay you for it when you show me the goat alive.
Then he comes back and drinks the poison, but it was a sleight of hand trick. That was kind of
yes, because he's also a magician.
Yeah, of course, all doctors
Street
are.
Magic in Haiti by Bill Pullman.
Chris Angel.
Was I the only one that whenever he got back into town, he's like, at the little exclusive dinner party, and that crazy bitch starts eating the glass. Did anybody else like wait for that to be a dream sequence, or was
Oh
it
yeah, I thought for sure it was going to be a fucking dream sequence, but then they played it off like it was real.
Yeah, like, oh, that just happened.
Yeah.
And everybody's just kind of cool with it.
Well, I thought maybe it was, you know, a lot of things are set up, so it was probably like, you know, when they do these voodoo things in real life, they're not really doing what they're doing, so it's probably sugar glass or something. But,
sugar glass.
So she was in on it?
well, you know, in real life it would have been. Of course, it's a movie, so obviously.
The white lady back in the States that
playing along
has like an ounce of coke up her nose and doesn't know what's going on.
Right.
Is like in with the witch doctors in Haiti.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Well,
Mulder
it was a
single
movie.
sugar glass cup to match all the others at the table. I see where you're going.
Oh, you meant that part. I thought you meant at the beginning when the Haitian lady eats the glass.
No, not the glass eating was a very common thing in the movie. I understand,
Yes.
but no.
See, there was 2 glass eating scenes in the movie, but now you did say exclusive dinner party, so
Yeah.
you should have said fancy white lady, and then I would have known what you meant.
He did. He said the fancy white lady with the coke up her nose.
Yeah, after I made a fool out of myself. Wait, I've done that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Wait a minute. Do you want us to keep a fucking running tally?
Inanimate frogs coming to life. Use deodorant.
The list goes on and on, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen. The list goes on and on.
And speaking of Oscar buzz, what about that actor's performance as Kristoff?
Oh yeah, well, you know.
Like, be a looming black man in the cemetery. Okay. Nailed.
Yeah, he had it.
Nailed it. Yeah, absolutely.
Sunken face. You know.
He was creepy looking.
Yeah, they pulled that off.
I like how he thought he was still dead.
But the thing is, so he thinks he's dead, right?
Right.
And then
He thinks he's controlled by
he comes back
them.
to life. Right, he comes back to life, but now he thinks he's like this mental slave controlled by them. At what point did he go and get a completely new hairdo? Like, did you notice that?
Yeah, because when he died, he had the, you know, short, close-cropped hair.
Right, and now he's got like long dreads and he's wearing like a different outfit and...
Yeah, he's zombie guy. Kristoff.
Yeah, everybody knows the zombie guy.
Fucking...
You can't be clean cut looking guy if you're a zombie.
And I mean, and let me clarify, this is not like the fucking Walking Dead zombies or fucking Night of the Living Dead zombies. This is just people who have died, or not died, they've been given this poison / drug. They've, you know, been put into this weird little coma, been buried, and, you know, then came back to life. Technically, they were alive the whole fucking time. This isn't your... When we say zombie... when we're saying zombie in this case, we're not talking about the flesh-eating zombies that we're all used to, I guess.
The interesting kind.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, they were never really dead. Zombie, technically...
Because if Rick Grimes had been on this motherfucker, everybody would have been shot.
That's right.
Because he doesn't fuck around.
And Kristoff did a good job, you know, wardrobe or whatever, of having the common Haitian zombie dressed in like throwback American attire that nobody wanted.
Right. I was half expecting someone to be running around with the previous year's Super Bowl losers t-shirts on.
Right.
Yes.
All over North campaign shirts.
Chris, you just stole my thunder because I was going to say something.
It's so true, though. That's exactly what happens. All those fucking shirts from the opposing team.
They're not allowed to do that anymore. They can't do that anymore. They're not allowed.
We can't fucking put clothes on kids' backs? What the fuck?
No.
It's good for a joke.
I know it is.
So there was like kids in third world countries during the 90s that thought the Buffalo Bills were the shit. Back to back to back, baby.
We fucking did it.
And yet there's still no Cleveland Browns Super Bowl shirts anywhere.
We love the Buffalo Bills.
But yeah, what a piece of shit movie. In retrospect, I was so, balls deep on this one. Like, yeah, let's watch this fucking movie. This is gonna be great.
You were hitting bottom.
Yeah, the whole fucking time.
And like the whole time I'm watching it, I'm just thinking to myself,
what a dickhead.
I get to pick the next movie.
The first moment that I realized Chris was wrong about this movie was about 5 minutes in when they buried the dude and the tear comes down his eye.
Yeah, but you were like genuinely frightened by the fucking movie. Like Matt and I are discussing the fact that the movie's just
moved by that scene actually.
Horrible.
I was moved too. I was moved right up out of the room. I didn't want to see that shit.
I like the part
movies
where he
don't
like
scare me.
finds his way through the jungle, and like he comes out of the jungle after being lost and following his totem animal, the jaguar, and like he's right there on the outskirts of town, and there's like a truck filled with like crazy tribal people or whatever driving in the opposite direction of town, and they don't stop and pick him up, and he gets pissed off about it.
Yeah, because they're going the wrong direction.
Yeah, they're going away from town, and you're right there. It's like 2 blocks to downtown village. Like, you made it, man. You've been walking through the jungle all day. Who cares? Fuck them.
So the one part of the movie I didn't get. What the hell killed his pilot? Bad Voodoo?
Bad Voodoo.
Yeah. That
what
one
were those
guy's
things crawling out of the guy's eyes? And
that guy's black magic voodoo.
That would be like, I think they would...
Big giant
I think they were
maggots.
trying to, say that it was maggots, and... Yeah, I mean, that's all speculation.
Because enough time elapsed.
Yeah.
Because maggots get that big in like 24 hours.
Those were jungle maggots.
Right. Come on now, Steve.
Oh,
Yeah.
jungle maggots.
Jungle maggots are totally different from fucking
But I
city
like how they
maggots.
also had time to like set up like the spears with like skulls on them and stuff in the river and all that. Like they decorated the entire area around the helicopter.
Well, of course.
I don't know about you, but like if I'm walking up on a helicopter and now it's surrounded by like spears with human skulls and everything, I'm going to assume that the helicopter pilot sitting motionless in the cockpit is probably fucked up. But like good old
But I
Pullman,
made it!
you know?
I'm glad you waited
man,
for me!
Man, I thought you took off without me, man.
didn't take
Good to
off
see
without
you.
me. Oh!
And he didn't. He seemed a little shocked when he saw the pilot dead in there, but his reaction was like, "Oh, you're dead," and then he just kind of walks away and goes off into the jungle. Okay.
Well, I think we can
dead.
all agree that Bill Pullman's acting in this movie was not exactly Oscar fucking caliber.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, at the time of the movie, you would not think this gentleman is going to one day portray the President of the United States.
Yeah, and say, "This is our Independence Day."
Like, delivering one of the most motivational speeches in Hollywood history.
That make you want to take a dump because you're filled with so much douche chills.
Yes.
And this movie was supposed to be, I would assume, a serious movie, not?
Oh,
But
yeah.
They tried to interject a little comedy in there all the time, and it was just so off. It was so silly.
Yeah, the movie was kind of portrayed as a serious, true to life horror movie. Because it was direct.
But every once in a while he'd try to. There was a funny, what was supposed to be a funny line in there.
Right. Well,
it just didn't fit.
Well, I mean, it was directed by Wes Craven, the man that brought us A Nightmare on Elm Street, which you probably have never seen, Steve.
No, of course he hasn't. None of them.
Right.
He doesn't even know who's in it.
I
But
haven't seen that movie.
whenever this movie came out, people talked about it.
Yeah.
And were generally afraid of it. Like, it was like a big deal. And like, my mom, as a matter of fact, will list this as one of the scariest movies she's ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay.
And I can remember watching it when I was younger and being frightened by it.
I couldn't make it through it whenever I was younger.
Right, but
it was just too creepy.
Right, but you look at it now and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, because back then it was just imagery and no storyline.
Right.
Now it's just storyline, and the imagery is not that big of a deal.
Yeah, the special effects, while some of them are kind of okay as far as holding up, most of it is just downright awful. But at the time, it was cutting edge, so, at that point in time, I guess you were able to suspend disbelief and just enjoy it as it was. So
the worst special effects in that movie is when at the end of the movie when he's all loopy and he's going through, when he's going in to get the bad guy, and the big zombie arms come out at him.
Oh yeah, the long ones. They just they're reaching forever.
Zombie arms.
Yeah, it's like fucking.
That was the worst.
The Mr. Fantastic of zombies is in every cell.
And then they grab him, and it's like he's quote unquote struggling to get away from them.
Yeah.
So that was the worst part.
Yeah.
I thought the worst part was an actor/actress actually let a gaboon viper crawl all over him.
Right.
That was kind of freaky.
Yeah. The movie had its moments, and like I said, for its time, I guess an okay horror film for its time, but looking back on it, it just did not. I had a hard time getting all the way through the movie watching it the other night. It was rough.
You could definitely handle watching it at home by yourself on a stormy night in the dark.
Right.
And then immediately go to sleep afterwards.
It's not gonna take you down a notch.
No.
And on that note, Steve, don't you have some news?
Well, yeah. I can't, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, our first bit of news is from Peru, in fact. Peru's Air Force is going to revive its UFO investigation.
The land of cocaine.
Oh, well, thank God Peru's going to chime in on it and set it to rest.
Peru's Air Force has said it's reviving a department to research anomalous aerial phenomenon. In other words, UFO sightings.
They're going to launch a little fucking plane that's so old that it just kind of...
They've got a kite with a camcorder duct taped to it.
We're going to see if we can get it struck by lightning.
For people who observe seemingly unconventional phenomena which cause surprise or concern, know that there is an institution that will study and research your information. Colonel Julio Vukitic said in remarks posed...
That's absolutely correct, Steve.
Let me compose myself.
Wait, this is Peru. They'll be on carpets.
Colonel Julio Vukitic said in remarks published Saturday. The Department of Investigation of Anomalous Aerial Phenomenon, or DIFA, will bring together sociologists, archaeologists, and astronomers
and torture them until they give us the information we want.
And feed them zombinol.
To analyze how often these events occur, where and
in Peru, never.
Vukitic said, according to the official Andina news agency, DIFA was first created in 2001, but it had been closed down 5 years ago due to
lack of funding,
administrative problems. Similar agencies exist in regional neighbors, including Brazil, Argentina, and Chile. Peru's office is now being reopened because of increased sightings that are occurring in the country and that people are reporting to media, Ukatich said. According to media reports, residents of the town of Marambabababamama
That's Marambabada.
Phenomena.
in the central Andes this week saw a luminous object in the sky over several
That's where they
days.
make the mints. Go on your hotel pillow.
What they didn't tell you is he took ayahuasca before he saw the lights in the sky.
And in our next story, we've got a car that runs 1 million miles on 8 grams of thorium. It says in breaking news on the energy and technology
I bought
front,
8 grams
Laser
of...
Power Systems, a U.S. company based out of Connecticut, is developing a method of automotive propulsion using the element thorium to produce electricity. The results far surpass anything currently powering automobiles. To put in perspective, 8 grams of thorium produce enough power for a car to drive 1 million miles.
The element that Thor's hammer is made out of.
1 million
Thorium is similar in structure. Thorium is similar in structure to the element uranium because it is an incredibly dense material. It has the potential to produce tremendous heat and thus energy. Charles Stevens, the CEO of Laser Power Systems, explains that just 1 gram of thorium yields more energy than 28,000 liters of gasoline. I do not have the U.S. equivalency for liters. Just 8 grams of thorium, Stevens explains, would produce more energy than the vehicle could use in its entire life without the need for refueling ever.
Just 8 grams of this stuff, man, and I swear to God, you're...
So come on down to Billy Bob's Thorium Emporium.
Stevens explained in an interview with Ward's Auto that small pieces of thorium have been used to generate heat, being positioned to create a thorium laser in vehicles.
you gotta smoke it under a glass.
Yeah, you gotta freebase it to get your car to run.
The laser heats water, which produces steam, which in turn powers a series of mini turbines.
So all you need is a gigantic tank of water.
The entire engine weighs only about 800 pounds and is light and compact enough to fit under the hood of any conventional vehicle.
Ooh.
Stevens
Well, I guess they just shot me down.
Stevens and his 40 employees are now trying to answer the question of how do you
There's
take
40
the laser
employees?
and put
Wow. That's amazing.
40 employees.
Oh, 40.
There's Thorium Emporiums at the Emporium.
Stevens and his 40 employees are now trying to answer the question of how do you take the laser and put these things together efficiently. The question
Inside
is
of a
not
car.
The question is not, however,
Ask
if
John Teeter.
they can get it to work, but when they can get it efficiently produced. When they do, they will have a vehicle that will wear out before the engine. There is no oil, no emissions, nothing.
Just water and the laser beam.
And our final story is about the
8 grams of
abominable.
So how much would they charge you for like thorium?
You have to
those
get it
equivalents.
from like terrorists in another
Nobody
country.
would be able to nobody would be able to afford it. Like 1 gram's worth 28,000 liters of gasoline. Well, I have enough money for 1 gallon.
Yeah.
So how does that transfer?
And our final story is about the abominable snow Yeti-Bear. A British scientist has linked supposed hair samples from the legendary Yeti, or abominable snowman, to a breed of ancient Arctic bears that he says could have survived to modern day. But other experts say the results need to be published before...
The
any
dentist
conclusions
said
can
that he
be
just went out
drawn.
into the wild, pulled the creature's tooth, and he pacified him.
Brian Sykes, a respected geneticist at Oxford University in the UK this week, reported the findings of a year-long project that aimed to rigorously test hair and tissue samples that were claimed to have belonged to the elusive creature. I put out a call for Yeti, Bigfoot, and Sasquatch hairs in 2012, and I received a good response from all over the world, Sykes told NBC News. One of the most promising samples that Sykes received included hairs attributed to a Yeti mummy, in the northern Indian region of Ladakh.
Yeti
The
mummy.
hairs were
Because they couldn't just go to the mummy and test it? Like, wouldn't that yield more DNA than, like, a few hair fibers pulled from it?
the hairs were purportedly collected by a French mountaineer who was shown the corpse 40 years ago.
In Klondike.
Another sample.
Yukon Cornelius.
Another sample was a single hair that was found about a decade ago in Bhutan, some 800 miles away from...
A single hair in Bhutan could only belong to the Yeti.
According to Sykes, the DNA from these two samples matched the genetic signature of a polar bear jawbone that was found in the Norwegian Arctic in 2004. Scientists say the jawbone could be up to 120,000 years old. Sykes' findings will be were the focus of The Bigfoot Files, a documentary series that premiered on Britain's Channel 4 on Sunday.
Cool, so he found bear hairs, not Yeti hairs.
Ancient polar bear hairs.
Yes,
Sour
I mean,
gummy
I
bear
think it's
hairs.
a great discovery if it pans out and everything. But it's just easily argued that they weren't Yeti hairs that they tested.
Right.
And that's the news, fellas. That's
news?
That's the news.
Wow. That was fun.
Abominable polar yeti.
Everybody needs
I
one.
like the abominable.
So
Yes.
somewhere there's like a really depressed Yeti that realizes that he's just a bear.
Yeah, and it ruined his life.
That's a
Yeah.
downer. That's... what are you gonna do? You're a polar yeti.
You do this. Because that just brings everything up.
I am never, ever going to Haiti in my life.
They know how to party.
Too bad, I got you tickets.
I don't care. I am not being zombified or buried alive.
Scrotumized.
That
You don't want a nail stuck through your
would be
scrotum?
bad. I don't want a nail stuck through anybody's scrotum.
Did you notice he never ate anything while he was there?
There's a good reason for that.
The only thing I've seen anybody eat was glass and fire.
It was a carnival.
The goat ate some rice.
Yeah.